The college football experience weekday preview and picks episode and DFS on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet365. Yes, Bet365 is offering new users a $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Bet365. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, it's Scooby right here, aka Shark Dog, listening to SGP and let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, week 11, weekday preview and picks episode. I'm torn here. I host the college basketball experience. I got UMBC, Louisville tied up at 75. 6 minutes left in the game. The place is rocking. And I got to do this show. It's fun. It's unfortunate. No, I'm joking. I love this show.
College basketball opening night has been pretty exciting so far, but college football, Maxion, and the rest of the weekday games, that's what I'm here for.
Yes, every single week they deliver. Folks, if you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I do not have stress. All right. When I'm picking winners, I was fire last week for the whole week, but especially the weekday. Actually, even more so probably on Saturday because I hit Army money line, Clemson money line, Indiana money line. I mean, there was a few others too. I am joined by my co-host, the DFS god himself. We invite you to come play DFS with us, folks. You'll see us tweeted out at TCE on SGPN. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free life giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. Happy Monday, man.
Can't sue me on this one.
You're running out of songs, aren't you?
Yeah. Man, this is just I have a hard time doing a show when you have a game this intense right now.
Let's focus on last week first. So for 2 weeks ago, I went 9-1 in my weekday picks. Last week it was your turn to just be scorching, on fire hot. What was your final record? Just with the weekday games?
I can tell you this last week. The only one I lost was Buffalo, who was at the 5-yard line, or I think even the 3-yard line, first and goal from the 3, and they did not score. And under 2 minutes left.
We both went 3-1 in Maxion play. The Maxion action was a little light last week. It was just 2 games Tuesday, 2 games Wednesday. We both went 3-1 there.
I went 8-1. Actually, and 9-1 if you include the FCS game. Wait, there's 2 FCS games. 9-2.
You were on Colorado State too. Right.
That's right. So what? 9-3.
That's
8-3. 8. Okay. Wait. So I hit the FCS. I hit the FCS game with Bethune-Cookman. Right.
Right.
So I hit Central Michigan, Bethune-Cookman, Ball State, Akron, Texas Tech, Troy, Wake Forest, Boston College. How many is that right there?
I lost count. I think it's 8, right?
And then I lost.
It's a
I
good
lost
fucking
Colorado
record.
State, and I lost Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the Ivy League game I lost too.
Gotcha. So the one my Friday was not good. I took Syracuse, lost on that. I took took Colorado State, lost on that. But everything else was good. Thursday, really, the question is South Alabama, Troy. On the show, I picked South Alabama, but with the caveat, I said if Carter Bradley's hurt, I want nothing to do with the inexperience going on the road against Troy. So a couple hours before kick, when we got the news, I switched my pick to Troy, but I don't know how you want to count that. Either way, we both did well last week, and we got more games this week to pick.
Well, and the shredder was out on for Syracuse. I learned the hard way on DFS.
Yeah,
I was out in the world.
I think I'm learning that he was just benched because right now I think he's second on the depth chart. So I didn't hear it was an injury, but I didn't hear any news until right before it kicked that Del Rio Wilson was getting the start.
Well, Dino Babers might get benched if he keeps making calls. Del Rio threw 4 picks. I mean, he looked awful. He looked awful. I get your reaction first. This is how we do this.
Yeah.
Biggest reaction I think biggest games were Bama, LSU, Bedlam. Air Force took their first loss of the season. JMU continues to roll but we just got news that James Madison's defensive end, who is a fucking stud, leads the nation in sacks, out for the rest of the year. Flamin' Libs won. What was your biggest takeaways from the week?
One of the big things was our K-State Oklahoma State parlay hitting, with the spread and almost money line. I can't believe Kansas State blew that. They had every chance.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about fourth and goal from the 4. This is another one of these dumbass. They have all the momentum. Malik Murphy's completed like 2 passes in the second half.
Exactly.
What the hell? Chris Kleiman's a damn good coach, but I just don't know what he's doing.
I understand that if usually maybe if you're the road team, you go for it, but not when you've been winning, not when you've been dominating the second half, and not when it's 4th and 4. If it's 4th and 1, okay, I have less of a problem with it. But 4th and 4, and really it looked like they were looking for the fullback in the flat, and as soon as that was covered, there was nothing else. There was nowhere else to go to. It was. I mean, I imagine they were looking, throughout the game, and they thought they had the right play at the right time, but Texas covered it, and then you lose. It makes no sense to have the outcome of the game on one play where your percentage is less than 50%.
And they struggled with the 2nd and 3rd down and 1 right before it went to overtime. So it's like, why would you? What makes you think this 4-yard thing is going to work out? It was just a mind-numbing play.
Now, as a bettor, getting plus 4.5, I was kind of happy with the decision because I knew, regardless of what was going to happen on that play, I was going to cash. And if they kicked it and sent it to another overtime, then you never know. So at the moment, I was okay with it, even though I really wanted Kansas State to win money line, even though I didn't have the money line ticket. Like I just, like most of us, we just want to see Texas lose. And unfortunately it didn't happen.
A couple other shockers. Well, I mean, Fresno State takes care of Boise in the Valley. I don't think that's a shocker, but I guess Fresno now it's looking like Fresno Air Force, but Air Force still plays UNLV in Wyoming. I'm sorry. Yeah. Air Force still plays UNLV and Boise. Whereas Fresno, if they can get through this week in San Jose, that looks like it might kind of be figured out, but I guess UNLV is still alive, and even Wyoming a little bit alive.
Speaking of Fresno, we were both on that. I see Sam Droid 559 in the chat with the Bulldog logo there. We were both on Fresno last week, and that's another thing. In my bets, I went 7-1, and a lot of my 7 hits were like easy hits, like Penn State -9, no question.
That was
Fresno State -3, easy cover. UNLV
Arizona,
easy cover. Kansas State, go ahead.
Arizona -3.
I didn't bet that. I picked Arizona, but I didn't bet it. The only bet I lost was Iowa State. I thought Iowa State was in a good spot.
Me too.
And I see Weehawk in the chat here. I'm sure he was happy that Kansas won. But like Rice +12, no problem. Oklahoma State +6, no problem. Kentucky -3.5. Like most of these bets, I didn't even have to sweat. So all in all, good weekend of college football. I wish the primetime games were a little bit better. Like they were good for about 3 quarters. LSU, Bama, USC, Washington, but I was really hoping for some fantastic endings, and we didn't really have that.
Well, a quick win total check to Appalachian State by beating Marshall 31-9. They moved to 5-4. We are very alive now for App State to cash this. Now they're at Georgia State, at JMU, home to Georgia Southern. If they win this week, I like my chances against Southern and Boone, but
I'm just saying, I know JMU looks fantastic right now, but in 2 weeks I'll be at App State at JMU. And do you think App State can pull something out of their ass? I mean, obviously JMU been a much better team this year. That hurts.
But that's a huge loss, man. I mean, that guy was like fucking. He's like Derek Thomas, man. He's got 15 sacks in 7 games.
He's their best player, regardless of position, regardless of offense or defense. Losing your best player always hurts.
Win total wise, I ate a big old bag of shit on UNLV.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm looking good. Charlotte cashed over 2.5 wins. Biff fucking Poggi. And I have the other side of that game. Tulsa. Yeah. Tulsa under 4.5. By them losing that, I think it's looking pretty good.
The NC State Miami game was huge for both NC State on the over and Miami on the under.
And UMass cashed for me over 2.5 as they beat Merrimack 31-21, and also Merrimack plus 17 cash for Dundee. So and Oklahoma State. How about Oklahoma State over 7 wins? Or 6.5 wins. I'm sorry. They now have 7 wins that cashed for both
I was telling
of
you
us.
Before we recorded. I was wondering why my account looked so much better than I thought it was, and I didn't realize I had bet the Oklahoma State over twice. I didn't do it on purpose, but I was like, hey, all right, sweet. So
also, but we're looking good on Notre Dame. Also, we pretty much.
I think it's pushed right now. It's pushed now, and yep.
Okay, I feel like that's enough. That's enough. Let's jump into
patting ourselves on our back, right?
Yeah, and this is man, I'm telling you, there was a very good game, back and forth game going on between UMBC and Louisville right now, folks. Like it has just been answer after answer going back and forth where UMBC clinging to a 1-point lead, 2 minutes left. It's hard to do the show. It's hard, but let's get into it. But before we get into it, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Bet365. Yes, we're brought to you by Bet365, and Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book, trusted by over 88 million players worldwide. Props, sides, totals, live betting. Yes, Bet365 has you covered. And if you like boosts, you're going to love the Bet365, like a 30% profit boost on your NFL same game parlays. Plus, they even have an early payout offer if your team goes up 17 points. Sign up today and choose from 2 bonus offers, either $1,000 first bet safety net or bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by good old Prize Picks. Yes. Look, with basketball season here, you can now pick a combo of projections across football and basketball with the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron, Travis Kelce over 10.5, whether 3-pointers made or receptions. That's pretty awesome. I've always wondered why they couldn't do this before. Now Prize Picks has figured it out. So want to play alongside some of your favorite celebs like rapper Meek Mill or comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each and every week. So Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy. We're talking about Garrett Schrader and the Shredder not getting on the field there. Well, guess what? If you were going through Prize Picks, you can get a little help there. If your player doesn't play or if he exits the game in the first half and doesn't return in the second, that player is rebooted, folks. So what are you doing? Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So what are you doing, folks? Get on over there. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com. Promo code SGPN. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look, Underdog is a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and college football. Simply pick high or low on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. All right. Look, they do this for college football. We were just talking, the over under on Caleb Williams, in Eugene, something out there. They have great player props. I personally think the over, as long as we know he's playing, will hit. But look, watch along, make picks, and maybe make a little extra cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SGPN. All right. We are back on the college football experience, and here we go. Starting Tuesday night, Maction.
3 games also. It was just 2 last week. Now we get 3 on Tuesday, 3 on Wednesday.
And not only that, we get rivalry games. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Starting things off, we got the battle for the bronze Stalk trophy. All right.
The bronze Stalk trophy.
Yep. STALK, Stalk.
Stalk of corn.
I'm under that
impression.
Yes. But
a stalker.
They've been playing since 1941. Now how about this one? Ball State has won 3 of the last 4, including last year's double overtime 44-38 win in Muncie. So when I see NIU laying 9.5, you might remember NIU won the MAC in 21. They won 30-29 against Ball State. So like these games have been fucking bananas. Let me just read you off the last 5 scores. Last year, 44-38 double overtime, Ball State wins. 21, NIU wins 30-29. 20, Ball State wins 31-25. 19, Ball State wins 27-20. 18, Northern Illinois wins 24-16. These games are going to be fucking close. So when I see 9.5, I'll start things off with a lock. Ball State's covering the 9.5. Sprinkle some on the money line. You got to understand the wacky Mac, What are you doing here, NC Nick?
Let's start the show off by agreeing, because I am on Ball State. This is too many points. Northern Illinois just 1-3 ATS at home this year. If you look at Ball State, their season, yes, it was in the tank. It was doing awful, but then they brought in Kyle Kelly at quarterback, and since then they've been playing a lot better football. They have 3 straight covers in a row, and a 1 win against Central Michigan. They were very close against Toledo a few weeks back, and only lost by 3 at Bowling Green a week ago. So I like, this team is playing a lot better, mid-season, late season, whatever you want to call it here. And I just think with the wacky Mac, you have to take the points in this.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's jump on over. I mean, this is just a great slate of weekday games.
And also Tuesday night is better than Wednesday night, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Tuesday night, all 3 games have spreads that are right around 10 or less. What did we just pick the last game at?
9.5, but
okay,
I saw
it's been hovering around 10. It was up to 10.5. It dropped down a little bit, but if we're picking at 9.5, all 3 of the Tuesday spreads are under 10, while all 2 of the 3 of the Wednesday night games are over 10, and the other one's sitting at 8.5. So
I definitely saw though that there's a 10 out there. There's a 10 out there.
It's been fluctuating around there, give or take a half a point or so. If you can get 10 or 10.5, even better. But still, I think at 9.5, you still take Ball State here.
Yeah. I think you're right. Oh man, I'm just watching this game here is fucking insane. But anyway, let's continue on, because we got barn burners left and right here. As we jump on over and talk about the next matchup. Oh, you want to talk about another rivalry game? We got you served here. The battle for the Victory Cannon. Yes. We have Central Michigan heading to Kalamazoo. Make sure you check out Waldo's. Get those liquor pitchers before the game and after. This is a rivalry that dates back to 1907, NC Nick. They've been playing for over 100 years.
What do they say in Kalamazoo? Buck them chips. So
there we go.
This is a rivalry here, definitely.
Yeah, and believe it or not, what if I told you that since 2011, the Chips have only won 3 times? PJ Fleck and Tim Lester were rowing something. The Chips did win in 2021, 42-30, but last season Western Michigan had a down year. They still won 12-10.
12-10.
So I mean, when I see Western laying 3, I was a bit surprised. I know Western has been, Lance Taylor's got them playing better than I thought they'd be. They're ahead of schedule to me.
I've been really impressed by Lance Taylor.
Me too. I think he's looking like a pretty damn good coach.
Yeah.
However, I think the Chips get it done. I think they're the better team. So I'll take the 3 points on the road in Kalamazoo. I'm excited to watch this matchup. What are you doing here, man?
In MAC play, Central Michigan has hit the road twice. This will be their 3rd conference road trip. In the previous 2 road trips, they lost to a bad Ball State team who were taking in the game before this, 24-17, and they lost to a pretty bad Buffalo team, 37-13. I don't trust the Chippewas on the road, and I'm getting behind Lance Taylor and the job he is doing in Kalamazoo. They just knocked off Eastern Michigan on the road last time out. Before that, it was a close loss to Ohio. They even hung around in Stark Vegas against Mississippi State a few weeks ago. Lance Taylor has his team playing good football, and I want to pick at least one home team on the Tuesday night slate, and this is going to be it. Western Michigan wins this. It's going to be a close game, but as long as I'm just laying a field goal, I feel pretty good about the Broncos.
Wow. Okay.
Now, last week, one of the games we disagreed on was the Chippewa one, and you were on Central Michigan. I wasn't, so I'm doubling down, fading the Chips.
Yeah, I think the Chips are for real. Next up, we jump over to Buffalo. The Ohio Bobcats. This is a series that dates back to 1949.
I'm curious where you're going in this one.
I struggle with this one, man. The series goes back to 1949. However, the recent games, Ohio's had their number. They've won. This even includes Leipold. They've had their number. They've won 3 of the last 4. So I'm going to trust that trend. I'm laying the 7 on the road against Maurice Lindquist and Cole Snyder's Pretzels. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you. Ohio has the number 4 defense in America as far as yardage per game, number 7 in scoring defense, limiting opponents to just 15 points per game. They're just a better team. And I know this season, I mean, they're still 6-3. They're having a decent year, but I had really high hopes for Ohio. And they have lost 2 out of 3 to Miami of Ohio and to Northern Illinois. I think coming off that loss last week, Ohio is refocused, and Kurtis Rourke and the offense, which has been struggling, I think they can find and have some success against, like I said, a pretty below average Buffalo squad. So I'm with you. Let's go Bobcats. You're going all 3 road teams.
No problem. All right. Mac.
What could go wrong?
Is there really a daunting place to play?
I would say
Ohio.
Northern Illinois probably. Well,
Ohio too. Yeah.
With the home teams, I say Northern Illinois probably has the best home field advantage. Yeah.
I can't stress enough how crazy this UMBC. Oh man, this game is insane. This game is absolutely insane. Tell me he does this. Tell me he does this. Oh, we got a foul situation with UMBC. So
I see GBO Farms is with me on Western Michigan. There we go. And D Bettis in this bitch. Hell yeah.
Dude, UMBC just made a stop. Great block shot to tie it. Or it was tied up. Great block shot, but then the guy couldn't get it away. It was a steal from behind, an alley-oop dunk by Louisville to go up 2. It's just an insane game.
If anybody's looking for live play-by-play for the UMBC Louisville game, we got you covered. plus some weekday best picks.
Hey, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. We got you covered here. So now we have UMBC's big man at the free throw line with 2 seconds left. Anyway, okay, next up, Wednesday night. By the way, which Tuesday night game are you most excited to see?
I think it's got to be Central Michigan, Western Michigan. I think it's the biggest rivalry of all 3 games. At least it is in my house because my wife graduated from Western Michigan after transferring from Michigan State.
There you go. Next up, we go to Wednesday's action. Akron is at Miami, Ohio. This is one. I mean, Miami, Ohio is laying 17.5 points. 17.5 points. This game dates back to 1915. That's a big number, man. That's a big number for undercuff. I will take the points. I look the last, even though Miami is currently on a 6-game win streak against the Zips,
and only one of those games has been by single digits.
Yeah.
And I think this is Miami's probably their best team in that stretch. Miami of Ohio is legit.
They are, but they're on the backup quarterback and everything. I think they might have some struggles. So I think you have to play the points here. Akron is a team. I maybe my total is confused into this, or fused into it, I should say. But I'm taking the points. You?
I thought Aveon Smith, the backup quarterback, looked pretty good against Ohio last week. He didn't have to pass much, but he went 7 of 11 for 103 yards and a touchdown. Also a touchdown on the ground against a very good Ohio defense. This game reminds me of last week's Buffalo Toledo game, where it was about the same spread and clearly the better team was playing at home. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay the points again. I think Miami of Ohio is right there with Toledo as far as the best team in the conference. And Akron was down double digits to Kent State going into the fourth quarter last week.
I don't want any slander about my Zips because they got it done and we're still alive to cash that over.
Also, Miami of Ohio 5-0 ATS as a favorite this year. Make it 6-0. Big win.
No. The Zips cover. All right. Bowling Green is heading to Kent, Ohio. Holy shit. Don't look now, but this is what's great about these MAC teams. Folks, they've been playing since 1920. So over 103 years ago, these teams have been playing. Bowling Green's laying 8. I hate laying points when Bowling Green's favored.
I hear you,
but I'm doing it.
What was the spread last week when they beat Ball State? Because Ball State covered that game. I think it was roughly right around the same spread. Wasn't it 9 or 10?
But I think Ball State's a little more talented than Kent State. So
yes.
I can't believe I'm locking up Leffler. That's something that should not go hand in hand, but we're doing it. Locking Leffler. What are you doing here, man?
I'm with you. Kent State has been auto fade all year for me. And yes, they were up 27-10 last week going into the fourth against Akron. I think that's more of a sign of how bad Akron is, and Leffler has never beaten Kent State. Kent State was a good program prior to this season. So he wants some revenge. He wants to, finally get over the hump against the Golden Flashes. I just think you can't bet Kent State this year, pretty much, and also their wide receiver, Chrishon McCray, probably the best player on their whole team. He was carted off the field with an injury, late in last week's game. Whenever someone's carted off the field, they're probably not going to play the following week. They're one good player on offense probably is going to be out. So I'm all over the Bowling Green.
Yeah, I'm with you. Next up, we go to the Glass Bowl. EMU Toledo. You're telling me Chris Creighton's getting 19 points? This is a series that dates back 100 years too. They first started playing 1923. EMU lost by 3 last year. The year before that, EMU won by 3. The year before that, they lost by 17. But the year before that, EMU lost by 3. Year before that, EMU won by 2. These are normally close games. I am all over the 19 and the Eagles at the Glass Bowl. Let's go.
What is Vegas going to learn? Eastern Michigan and Chris Creighton as a double-digit dog. That is a perfect spot when you want to take them. And actually, there's a stat behind it. They are 3-0 this year, ATS as a double-digit dog. This is going to be a closer game. Yes, Toledo did blow out Buffalo last week. But prior to last week, Toledo was playing everybody close. They were 0-4 ATS as a double-digit favorite. So I think last week was that aberration just against a bad Buffalo squad. This is going to be much closer than 19. If Toledo wins, it's probably by a single digits. I'm right there with you with Eastern Michigan, and I'll lock it up with you too.
Eagles are gonna fly high. Yes, folks. As I just think they're gonna. You love to get Creighton. You love to give Chris Creighton as a just any points in general, but anything over a touchdown.
And you never want to lay more than a field goal with them either.
Yes. I don't care if they're playing Alabama. I'm taking the points. All right.
So hold on. So Colby, you're on all 6 road teams, right?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Well, I mean, Akron could still lose, but they cover the 17.5. Yeah.
Same with Eastern Michigan. Sure.
Yeah. So there's that. Okay. All right. Next up. Well, actually, before I do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Game Time. Look, buying tickets to your favorite event should not be that stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. All right. So folks, what are you doing? Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. If you're going to go to the bet on the Pistons, they're going to remind you that Fennis Dumbo, used to play for them. All right, they're going to go deep in there. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Now we jump over to Thursday's slate where it's a big day.
Only 2 games. Come on.
Yeah. Disappointing. There is an FCS game though. If Louisville wins, I cash a large wager on Louisville over 8 wins. So, or 7.5 wins. No, did they already cash it? I think I might have already cashed it.
We picked it at 8, I think, on our.
Okay,
but you might have bet it before that. So
yeah, I think I got it at 7.5, but 8 for our show's purposes. Louisville's laying 20. This is a rivalry. Remember, this was the forced rivalry. Tried. Yeah, this was they played every year.
There's no reason why these 2 schools should be rivals. They have nothing in common.
Yeah, and even their history only dates back to 1988. The only thing in common, I guess, is that Louisville and Virginia normally play pretty. Like Louisville's all-time record is 6-5 against UVA, so it's a close one. Louisville's laying 20. Did you see that Tony Muskett was not playing for the Wahoos on Saturday against Georgia Tech? That's one of the things me and Patty C noted here.
They had Calandria back in there.
Yeah. If that's the case, I will take Louisville minus 20. But if you know what, I'll take the points just on the fact that I think Louisville might be looking ahead to that Miami matchup.
Yeah. So both of the games Thursday night have seen some pretty big line movement, about a field goal each. I mentioned this stat. I mentioned how good Louisville has been at home last week. I swayed you away from Virginia Tech, to take in Louisville because they are now 5-0 at home, 5-0 ATS with an average margin of victory being just over 30 points per game at home. But I kind of agree with you. When this opened up at 17.5, my initial reaction was to take Louisville. I think I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna take the points. I don't think this is a money line play. I think Louisville wins, but they win by 14.
Well, and it's like the thing of like, I guess you have the motivation side though of them. If they win, they've pretty much solidified an ACC championship spot.
It just seems like that whole town is just electric, and they all love having Brohm there, and they're kicking ass this year. And they in their sights is an ACC championship and a potential college football playoff invitation. Why not?
You know what's crazy is he could steal that town because with their basketball being as bad now, they escaped in 1-1 tonight on a missed free throw. But like you got to wonder, it's like Kentucky struggling. It's becoming more and more a football school.
Sure. So I want to take them here, but I just think that for some reason this game's going to be a little bit closer than expected. I mean, look, before Georgia Tech blew out UVA, they had taken Miami to overtime and they beat UNC.
Yeah, I'll take the points.
I'm taking the points too.
I'll take the points, but I don't love the play.
Not at all.
Staying on that slate on Thursday night, we do have, and this one's fun. Southern Miss been a disaster. I lost money on them this year. I took the over. It's been a disaster, but they head to Louisiana. This is a game and a rivalry that goes back to 100 years. 1923 they've been playing. Southern Miss, they've been fucking them up. You know, they have a 30 game lead on them all time. And believe it or not, they have not lost to Louisiana since 1993. So Billy Napier, even with that, you got to remember some of those years they weren't in the Sun Belt. Southern Miss was in the CUSA. So they haven't lost since 1993. Southern Miss is getting 10. I'll take the 10. I think they've been playing a little bit better lately. I'll take the 10.
They have been playing better.
Yeah,
they were up on App State on the road before App came back at the very end of that game to win, and they beat ULM 24-7 last week. Meanwhile, Louisiana, it's been kind of hard to get a read on them. They lost by 20 at Arkansas State in a very surprising game, I thought. So this opened up at Louisiana -13. It's now at -10. Early money coming in on Southern Miss. I think it's a ball game. I think double digits is just way too many points here. And if Southern Miss can continue that momentum from the last couple of weeks, I think they can cover and potentially win.
Yeah, I dig the amount of rivalries. I don't know what Virginia and Louisville's doing on the slate because everyone else is fucking like a classic rivalry. And I'll continue on that because we do have a nice matchup going on in the FCS. Let me make sure I can find this line.
I don't have a Thursday night game on the FBS showing up for me.
FCS? Is it Friday night? It's either Thursday or Friday.
Grambling, Arkansas. Pine Bluff?
Yeah.
Oh, Friday.
Is that Friday? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am very intrigued to see that matchup, but I don't have a current line on it right now from what I'm seeing, but let me
ask you this. Why is there only one FCS game during the week?
Yeah, they're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball, man. Now, but this is another rivalry game, buddy. This is the Delta Classic. All right. You gotta love that.
How many points is Grambling going to be laying?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Bluff is 1-8.
Yeah. I'm thinking like 10. We'll see. Subscribe to the FCS College Football Experience. I'm surprised I don't have a line on this yet. But
I think you got to lean Grambling here.
Yeah, you got to lean. It's tough to take Hugh Jackson as a favorite. I understand.
Yeah,
I've been burned by it throughout my whole life. But I think you try to tune into that, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I guess we don't have a line, so stick around to the tomorrow. I'm doing the FCS recap show. I'll make sure we hit that. All right. All right, let's jump over to Friday's action. We got the Safeway Bowl. Wait, what? Yes, the Safeway Bowl. All right, since 1922, North Texas and SMU have been playing. And in 1922, SMU won 66-0, just a dominating performance. But don't sleep on the Safeway Bowl because North Texas been playing them a lot chippier, even though SMU has dominated this rivalry. I'll be honest. They've really beat the shit out of them in this rivalry.
It's been ugly of late too.
Yeah. But there's a reason why you play the games. All right. And this SMU's leaving the AAC. North Texas is going to have a moment to say, hey, you know what? Fuck you on the way out. And yeah, let's go. And this name, by the way, if you're wondering where the name is coming from, Matt Simon, the old North Texas head coach, after a 2-year break from this series, said, I'd like to play them because I think we could beat them. I think we're better than them. And my players feel the same way. I'd play it in a Safeway parking lot. Just give us a date and a time and we're there. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Give me the Safeway Bowl.
Doesn't quite have the ring as like the Iron Skillet does, but the Safeway Bowl, sure.
SMU's laying 17. It's too much. SMU is still fool's gold. I hit on Rice. Rice almost won on the money line. They didn't even have JT Daniels the whole second half. I I will take the points. What are you doing here?
I hate to agree again, but we're taking a lot of big road dogs here. But if you look at North Texas, yeah, their record 3-6, 1-4 in conference, not great. But the last 3 games, all 1-score losses to UTSA, Memphis, and Tulane. Those are 3 very good teams who I would argue all might be better than SMU, at least in the same ballpark. So I think this is too many points here. I think SMU is probably feeling themselves after how many wins in a row do they have now? They just barely squeaked by Rice when JT Daniels got hurt in that game. So they've won 5 in a row here. I just think this is a close game. I'm going to take the points. I'll lock this one up too.
NC Nick locking up the Safeway Bowl.
Well, with Dallas to Denton, what is that, like 60 miles?
Yeah, that's nothing. Not even. I think it's like 40. Yeah. Gotta love that. Let's go to Vegas, where at the filthy, it should be Sam Boyd Stadium, but it's not. It's at the stupid fucking vacuum. This is a gigantic game. Do you realize how this could be a rematch? Wyoming has the tiebreaker on Fresno State, right? Air Force and Boise still play each other. So theoretically, Boise could still lose another game. UNLV has 1 loss, and that was to Fresno. If Wyoming beats UNLV this Friday night, they would have the tiebreaker over Fresno and UNLV, and all they would need is Air Force to beat Boise State and for Fresno to drop a game, which I think Fresno could when they go to San Jose this weekend. This is a gigantic game.
Are you fully buying into UNLV?
No, they still have 0 wins against team with a winning record. But I will say this: they are dominating wins.
True. Well, yeah, most of them are. But yeah, I mean, you go down the list. Their wins are against Bryant, Vanderbilt, UTEP, Hawaii, Nevada, Colorado State, and New Mexico. That's a whole bunch of nothing. I mean, granted, look, they played Fresno close, and most of those wins. But that
score was a little deceiving. Fresno was up big in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And now they did play them close. They came back. They threw an interception in the red zone. So it was there. They almost tied the game up and went to overtime.
A couple weeks ago, they beat Colorado State by 2 at home. We just saw, Wyoming put it on Colorado State. I have more faith in what I know Wyoming is than what I know UNLV is. So,
and can I hit on this? UNLV hasn't really played any rushing teams besides Michigan. They lost to Michigan. All the other teams they faced are like pass happy teams, or they can't run the ball. Wyoming is like
New Mexico and can't do anything.
Yeah,
or Utah.
I mean, yeah. Wyoming's going to have success here. This series goes back to 1978, folks, and Wyoming, believe it or not, UNLV's only won once in the past 12 years, and that was a 3-point classic in 2016, 69-66. Not a I'm not talking about basketball. I'm talking. This is college football. But in Craig Bull's tenure in Laramie, he beat him 45-14. He beat him 53-17. Not so fast. Craig Bull goes into. There's no real road advantage here.
No, not at all.
Money line play. I'm locking up Wyoming plus the points and on the money line. Buck 'em Cowboys. Let's go.
Are we suckers for taking so many road teams? All your weekday picks were all road teams.
I'll take them all. Call me the road warrior, baby.
Go big or go home.
Let's fucking go.
But look, I mean, you should never force a bet just because you have a lot of road teams. You shouldn't force a home team in the next game. You have to handicap each game on its own. So if that's the way it is, that's the way it is, man. So after giving you that much shit, my last 4 picks were all road teams too. All road dogs. We're the road dogs. We're that WWE tag team, the Road Dogs.
There you go. There you go. A couple of road dogs over here, folks. All right. Look, if you're listening to this on the audio side, make sure you check out our DFS show. If you're watching on YouTube, stay put. We're going to jump right into DFS. But should we do a lock, dog, and tease before we do that?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I will. I mean, the tease is actually. I think you can have a lot of fun with the tease here.
Yeah, you can.
I will I will lock up. I mean, I actually think that the lock that I like most,
Eastern Michigan.
I think it might be Wyoming, but no, yeah, let's go EMU. Let's lock up EMU.
Yep.
Plus 19. The dog to win outright is Wyoming. No?
Yes. No, I was trying to get something a little bit juicier for you. And if you want something juicier,
it's got to be Ball
Southern
State.
Miss
or Ball State.
Ball State.
One of the two.
Yeah, I feel better with Ball State. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Ball State. Now, the tees, I think if you're smart, you bring EMU up to 25.
Yeah.
Right? You're at
I love teasing up some of these dogs for sure.
I highly doubt you're going to lose EMU plus 25.
Move Wyoming up to 10.
Yes, Wyoming up to 10. I think you're sitting good.
And I would say maybe Ball State again. Move that up to 15.5.
I was just about to say it. So Ball State up to 15.5. That's your tease, folks. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Once again, if you're on YouTube, stay put. We're going to do a DFS show right now. It's just the audio side. Side A is completed. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Come play DFS with us, by the way. NC Nick on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And hop on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Also, you can watch this. YouTube.com/the College Experience. All right, this concludes side A. And we're back on the College Football Experience. Week 11 weekday preview and picks for all the weekday games, but this is our DFS show. As we load up on DFS. We invite you to come play DFS. Just stay tuned. You'll see it. We tweet it out at TCE on SGPN, or I am joined also by NC Nick here. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience, folks, you can watch this. If not, so NC Nick, and he'll be tweeting this out too at NC__NICK. I got to ask you, we only have 2 slates, Tuesday and Wednesday.
We do have to do a quick recap of the previous slates first.
Okay.
You want to tackle that first?
Yeah, fire away.
All right. So last week I won the Wednesday and Thursday night. I was on fire during the week. I won both of those ones. Friday night, Jamie 8238 won again. That's the one where Garrett Schrader didn't play. You weren't able to be on your phone and switch your lineup out. So obviously, if one of your quarterback doesn't play, you didn't do too well. Saturday main slate, our guy Jamie wins again. The side bet though, Alan Bowman takes down Jack Plummer by 10 plus points or so. Jack Plummer, I mean, as good as Louisville has looked last 2 weeks, they haven't really needed to throw the ball.
Jawar Jordan was slicing and dicing.
That's the other thing too. Like I heard an hour before the game, Jawar Jordan was in street clothes or something. So I pulled him out of all my lineups, and then he plays. Thanks for the information, college football. Saturday night, Kibbs 08-1. You beat me in the side bet barely. It was a battle of Iowa State receivers. Jalen Knoll, your guy, had 5 catches for 42 yards. My guy Higgins, 3 catches for 56 yards. I had 16 more yards, but DraftKings is PPR, so the 5 catches brought your guy right above mine barely. So there you go.
A win is a win, buddy. All right, look, before we jump into this, I want to tell the folks out there that the College Football Experience Weekday DFS show is brought to you by, if I can scroll up, brought to you by Bet365. Yes, Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book, trusted by over 88 million players worldwide. Props, sides, totals, live betting. Bet365 has you covered with it all. All right. And if you like boost, you're going to love Bet365's 30% profit boost on your NFL same game parlay. Plus, they even have an early payout offer if your team goes up by 17 points. Unbelievable. Sign up today and choose from 2 bonus offers, either $1,000 first bet safety net or bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Just head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365.
Were you about to ask me? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. We're also brought to you by good old prize Picks. Yes. Prize Picks. Look, get on over there. Check us out. All right. Because with Prize Picks, the basketball season's here. You can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron plus Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. Fantastic stuff. All right. So what are you doing, folks? Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN. Promo code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Look, Underdog's got a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football. It's all here. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite fantasy players stat projection and cash in, people. So when you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the college football experience. What were you going to say, buddy?
It sounded like you were going to ask me what slate I liked better. Is that right?
Yes, I was going to.
You know, and really the Wednesday night one dropped like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So we haven't had a big chance to digest that like we usually say when we do this podcast Monday night. But I kind of favored that Wednesday night pod because I'm looking to fade some of the really bad teams that play on Wednesday.
Okay, let's
Yourself,
jump in.
did you prefer Tuesday?
I liked my Tuesday slate, buddy.
All right. So Tuesday, I did a little bit different. Only one quarterback Tuesday.
Wow. Okay, so you got to name them now.
I had the money. So at first I was thinking about going with the guy I was talking about in the pick show, Kyle Kelly. But, you know, I think he's going up against a decent defense with Northern Illinois, and I had leftover money. So I'm going with my guy, Kurtis Rourke. He hasn't had a great season. I get it. But I think maybe this is the game where he has, you know, where he shows what he's capable of.
Yeah. He has struggled. He only has 10 touchdowns. Is that the injury from before? But I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't roster him. I couldn't do it.
I will say he's been 275 yards or over 3 of the last 4 games. So I think the offense is slowly rounding into the form we thought they would be all year long with all those returning players.
Yeah, I stayed away. I jumped over my top price quarterback, Rocky Lombardi. Look, I learned the hard way last time. Can't fade Rocky Lombardi. I mean, there's always the injury threat here, but when Rocky Lombardi plays, first off, he was born in like 1975. So like he's old as fuck. So he's well experienced. And I think he doesn't want to lose a rivalry game at home to Ball State. And I think if you look at what he did last week, he's a guy, he struggles on Saturdays. When you give me those Tuesday, Wednesday Met games, he dominates. All right. Threw for about 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'm still pissed at that last interception, man. Why he forced it to the deep receiver, I have no idea. He had the guy underneath wide open. I couldn't roster him after that.
Well, that's
even though he won my side bet versus you last week, but no, I didn't go with him. But
wait, how much was Rourke?
Rourke was $200 more expensive.
I smell a battle of bourbon here, buddy.
Oh man! All right, let's do it.
Let's fucking go. Battle of bourbon on the line. And make sure you check out the Old Fashioned Football podcast.
After giving you shit for feeding a Lombardi, I'm about to do the same, huh?
Thought you learned your lesson, but apparently not. I am taking you to my second quarterback because I did too. I'm not a coward. Right. So I think this guy's value is higher than what we think. All right. Taking you to Kalamazoo, Hayden hungry like a wolf. So I think many people would say that the top 2 defenses in the MAC are Miami, Ohio, and Ohio, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think his number's down because he played all of them. First off, he played Syracuse, Mississippi State, Miami, Ohio, and Ohio in a row. So you have like Rocky Long, a good Mississippi State defense, Miami, Ohio, and Ohio. And then he got Eastern Michigan, who's not even that bad. But even the Ohio game, you look back, he threw for 290. Yes, he had an interception and only one touchdown. You look at the Mississippi State game, 265, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think he's better than what his stats represent. And that is why I am playing Hayden Hungry Like a Wolf to slice and dice Central Michigan up. What are you doing here?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got 2 home favorites and the 2 teams with the highest implied total, 30 and 26, with Ohio. There's a little bit after that, 25 total points. So it makes sense to roster both those guys. Are they both great fantasy quarterbacks? No. They both have kind of clunkers where they're in the teens, but they're both capable of, going over 20, close to 30 points also. So I think both matchups are decent. And like I said, I like the fact that they're favored and they're at home. So I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my 2 quarterbacks. I think I'm gonna really destroy your team.
I'm going 4 running backs, dude. This is Maction. It's cold. You might get a little snow, some rain, some sleet. What do? You hand the ball off. That's why I'm trotting out a quadruple backfield here, a quadrant or something like that. But I got 4 running backs, and they're all between 6K and 7.4K. I'll start with the 7.4K Marquez Cooper of Ball State. Boom.
I got him too. By the way, I'm doing a weather check. DeKalb, there could be some rain. It might not be till Wednesday morning though.
While you're doing that weather check, Cooper's got back-to-back games of 25 plus touches. And by the way, Northern Illinois just allowed a 200-yard rusher last week in Central Michigan's Marlon Lukes.
You should be good. It seems like all this area is getting action on Wednesday, not Tuesday. So should be good for Tuesday night here. But I think if you're going to play those running backs, I know I have Cooper too, but I think you kind of want the rain.
Sure.
If you're not going to go 2 quarterbacks, but it's okay. You live on the edge.
Focus on the ground game. That's right.
You live on the edge.
I'll just keep it rolling. So you roster Cooper also, right?
I did. Yes.
All right. My next guy, 6.2K, Northern Illinois. On the opposite side of that, Ontario Brown. We saw him last week go 22 for 167 and a touchdown. It was his 3rd game this year over 150 rushing yards.
What's his price?
He is 6,200.
So do I roster him or Gavin Williams is the question.
Gavin Williams burned us last week. He didn't do jack squat.
I'm switching. I got 1,600 I'm sitting on. I'm switching. I'm going to him. Going to Brown, so we have the same running backs.
I think you have to so far, but obviously I have 4 of them. So let me continue. Saya Bangura, Ohio's running back. I'm going all in on the Ohio offense.
It's my 3rd running back. Running back.
I know the Ohio offense is not produced as expected, but I don't like the Buffalo defense, and I think this is the game where maybe finally they show up.
Yeah, I think that this is it. Buffalo's defense been trash all year. Take advantage of that. Who is your 4th and final running back?
4th running back, the aforementioned Marlon Lukes, who's coming off a 200-yard game against NIU, the Central Michigan Chippewa running back. I think this is basically a volume play here. For 6K, you're getting a guy who's going to get a shit ton of touches. Even if I think Western Michigan's defense is pretty good at home, I just think he's going to get, like I said, those touches.
I like it. I like the play. I think it's a solid play. It's unfortunate I'm at to beat you. All right. But wide receiver wise.
So we both have 3 receivers, right?
Yes. And my wide receivers, fantastic. First, I'm going to start off. If I'm going to lose, I'm a wig lose. All right. Sam Wigloos, former Ohio State Buckeye wideout for Ohio at 5,900 is my top price wideout.
Well, I have a one guy higher, but I also have Wigloos who, play the music.
Let's go.
Obviously, the Bobcat wide receiver 1. He's a perfect stack with Rourke, for a pretty cheap price of less than $6K also.
Yeah, I was about to say, who's your
I'm
highest price?
surprised you didn't roster this guy. Me and you were all over him last week. Last week he was only 5,700 and he had 8 for 172 and a touchdown. Trayvon Rudolph, Northern Illinois.
He is a stud. Like he's, tore his ACL last year, missed the whole season, but the year prior he was a fucking stud.
Especially considering you have Rocky Lombardi. You
Lombardi.
You took Wiglu's over Rudolph, huh? It's only $100 difference.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Hunch play, huh?
There's a couple wideouts that NIU has. That's the difference. Wiglu's is the guy for Ohio.
Okay. All right. Who's your second receiver?
My second wideout, I am going back to Kalamazoo. Kenneth Womack. You can't fade him.
Play the music.
This guy's a fucking dog. All right. 54 catches. I mean, he's getting 100 catches a game pretty much.
And just in the last month, he's had a game where he had 19 targets and a game where he had 16 targets. Show me another receiver in the country getting that kind of targets. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we both have him. Okay, and I have one more wideout on this team. The stack.
I'm done. I'm spent because so that's why my cheapest guy was only Womack was my cheapest guy because I didn't spend up at quarterback like you did. Who's your last guy?
I'm gonna go to look. I know this guy doesn't catch the ball much, but when it does, it's a touchdown. All right, I went with Kenneth Womack. Stay in Kalamazoo. A little Anthony Sambuki. All right, I'll try that Anthony Sambuki.
I like it. He's been around for a while,
dude. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season. That's more than double anyone else on the team, and 4 times the amount of Kenneth Womack. So you got to roster a little Anthony Sambuki.
The double stack with your quarterback too. But you were on the Chippewas in that game, right?
I was. It's got to be a shootout. 38-35. CMU gets it done.
Last year was 12-10.
That's true. It was in the snow last year, I think.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah.
All right. Before we get to Wednesday's slate, I want to tell the fine people that the College Football Experience DFS show is brought to you by Game Time. Look, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you with killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. So, folks, download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Snag the tickets without the stress, people. Terms apply. Once again, create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into the Hall of Fame of Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down leg by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. What are you doing, folks? Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, we are back. Final slate here. Did you go with your cha-cha-cha one quarterback system?
Nope. Back to my standard 2 quarterbacks here. And this is another slate where I had excess money at the end. So originally I did not have Dequan Finn in my lineup. He's coming off of a kind of a ho-hum performance against Buffalo, where he only threw for $173 and only 1 touchdown and really didn't do much with his legs either. So I think we got a good bounce back spot. Toledo's at home against Eastern Michigan. I think Dequan Finn could be in for a big game.
Well. All right. He's a stud. He's one of the best quarterbacks, some say, in MAC history. There's a reason why Carter Bradley transferred to South Alabama. As Dequan Finn was ahead of him. And I can't help but think when I watch Michigan State football, they passed on Dequan Finn. He wanted to play there.
That's right.
Detroit kid wanted to play there. They passed on him. Unbelievable. Bowling Green is, well, this is one where I feel a little crazy.
Are you going Bazelak?
I actually, just because they also play the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot on Ulatowski. I don't know. Do I go Bazelak? Give me Bazelak. Give me Bazelak.
All right. I went with Aveon Smith, the Miami, Ohio quarterback, because
what's his price?
Also 6,800.
All right. I do have that money. Let's do that. I kind of, as we alluded to at the beginning of the episode, this lineup just came out. So I kind of just quickly punched this one up.
I just think it's, Miami, Ohio is favored by 17.5 at home against a bad Akron squad. Them and Toledo are kind of neck and neck with the highest implied total. So that's why I went with, one of the reasons why I went with both the Toledo quarterback and the Miami quarterback.
Makes sense. I think you're right. Running back wise, how many backs are you rolling with?
I got 3. And again, I had excess money here. So our guy Penny Boone, the Toledo running back for 7.2K. I'm going to do the Colby Dance stack, the quarterback running back play.
I got it too. I'm going to do my stack, buddy. My second highest price. Actually, give me your second highest price running back.
So now I'm looking to fade. I'm to fade Kent State and fade Akron. So I'm loading up on running backs with Miami and Bowling Green. So with Miami at 6,100, Rashad Amos, he's their RB1 last week.
We got the same fucking team,
dude. Against Ohio, who, like I said in the picture, they have a top 10 defense in the nation. He went 21 for 163. Just imagine what he's going to do against Akron.
Yeah. And by the way, I played the other side of that too. Lorenzo Lingard. Did you go with him?
I did him this week. I was on him last week. He came through, had a big game. I don't want to go up against that Miami Ohio defense. Instead, I'm going to take you to Bowling Green's running back. And by the way, their starter Terrion Stewart most likely is not going to play this week. So I'm going for 6K. I'm going to get the backup Tayron Keith.
Look, I had him, but I need to know that he's starting.
Well, so what's the latest on Stewart was that he was injured late in the game.
I don't know for sure. That's a wild play though, because
I think he could be productive in this game either way. You almost rostered both of the Bowling Green running backs last week. So I think if Stewart doesn't play, this is a no-brainer. Yeah. But even if he does play and he's not 100%, I think Keith can still get his.
I just got to monitor it. I got to monitor it before I pull the plug on that. That's so pay attention to that, folks. Okay, so that's my running backs. That's your running backs, correct?
Yep.
Wide receiver wise, I was bargain shopping here. My wide receivers, my most expensive was 5,500. How about yourself?
Play the music. Daniel George, my most expensive as well.
Daniel George getting it done.
The only person I have on Akron coming off 9 for 104 and a touchdown. I think he's their best player, more so than Lingard, the running back. And he's been that for a couple years now.
Speaking of a couple years, I've been playing Tanner Knue in
the music again. Damn
Jesus. It. Eastern Michigan's wideout, 37 catches on the season. He's been a stud for me for years. They're not as good of a passing team now that Ben Bryant and everyone else that has been on this team is gone. But Austin Smith does enough in the air that I think he can be a factor.
And even though these two teams, the Akron and Eastern Michigan are 17.5 and 19-point favorites, that means they could be down early and have to pass often. So I think that's why you load up on the running backs for Toledo, Miami of Ohio, and maybe grab yourself a cheap pass catcher on Akron or Eastern Michigan.
And my final wideout, I'm going back to the well. Did you see that pass he dropped last week?
I don't think. Who are we talking about?
O'Day Hilaire. 2 for 9 last week, but he almost had a fucking 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the well.
Well, I'm going back to the well too, because this was our same side bet last week. I'm going with the tight end for Bowling Green, Harold Fannin Jr. who had 5 for 92 and a touchdown. So let's do it again. Run it back.
Let's run it back. All right. So that's our lineups, just like that, huh? Folks, we'll be back Thursday morning to do a Thursday morning DFS show regarding Thursday night, regarding Friday's DFS slate, and both Saturday slates. Subscribe, tell a friend. We are the College Football Experience. Remember, every single night I am live with the College Basketball Experience. All right. That means in 2 hours, we are going live talking tomorrow's action, big time Auburn Baylor game going on. We're going to break down everything on the College Basketball Experience. Recap a wild night of hoops, as I alluded to. UMBC loses, basically missed free throw at the buzzer. Louisville escapes. There's been some other upsets. Shout out to Timothy Green. Colby, but yes. Appreciate you.
How many times do you get Cody?
Or a lot.
Or
Corey.
Kobe.
I get Kobe. I get Corey. Someone calls me dumbass a lot too on Twitter. So anyway,
just like the college, the Colby College Mules. Okay,
the white mules up there,
mules. Colby
College.
They
play. Even they play football. George Mason, what are you doing? Start your football program. Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We'll be back every single day this week. Talking everything, big time matchups. Our week 11 picks come out Wednesday night. But stick around. This is our hub on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. This is where you'll hear the FCS College Football Experience, the College Experience, the College Basketball Experience, the College Football Experience, the College Baseball Experience, and the Big 12 Experience, all on one channel right here. Subscribe, tell a friend. Also, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast, as they are live from Las Vegas every Friday on VSiN. That's VSIN, YouTube TV. If you have YouTube TV, you have VSiN. Get on over there. Check it out. Also check out CJ Sullivan and the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, as he was a guest on the College Football Show earlier today. Go check out that, folks. Until next time, this is the College Football Experience, Week 11 DFS style. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here. Run and shoot. We can really run.